searching for a 5-year-old boy.
How a 5-year-old boy will react in a specific situation is difficult at the best of times.
Why finding him could be even more challenging. The campaign is underway. How will voters respond to party politics at the municipal level? And NORAD jets responded to their flight.
I have reached out every single day.
While they're still waiting for their luggage a week later.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. The search for a missing 5-year-old boy continues in the Crow's Nest Pass, more than 24 hours since he was last seen. Yesterday morning, Darius McDougall was hiking with his family near Island Lake Campground when he disappeared. RCMP say they were on a road that connects to Tent Mountain and allows camping on Crown land. The area off Highway 3 near the Alberta-BC boundary includes steep terrain. Dozens of search and rescue members, RCMP, and conservation officers are looking for the boy. McDougall has autism, and police say that may prevent him from responding to others.
A 5-year-old boy will react in a specific situation is difficult at the best of times. So we need to keep that in mind. Fortunately for us, we are able to draw upon the provincial resources in Alberta.
Officers and search team members will work through the night. The RCMP is requesting assistance from search and rescue organizations. The nominations are in. The registration deadline passed at noon today for candidates in upcoming municipal elections in Calgary and across the province. The Elections Calgary office was opened this morning, but no nomination papers were submitted in the final hours. 9 people are nominated for mayor. 73 people are running for council positions, 31 for public school trustee, and 13 for the Catholic School Board. Staff ensured everyone met all the requirements during the process.
It is a nomination form. The form has to be completed. We're also looking for a complete package of the required signatures. A deposit is required. It is $100 for councillor candidates and $500 for mayoral candidates. And new this year would be the accompanying criminal record check.
Candidates have until tomorrow at noon to withdraw their nomination if they choose. There are now 4 weeks to go before the election on October 20th. To see the official list of candidates, go to electionscalgary.ca/vote. The incumbent for mayor in Calgary is stepping up her pitch to keep her seat. Jyoti Gondek says she's standing on her record since she became mayor in 2021. She says she displayed calm, transparent leadership during events like the water feeder main crisis and delivered results.
The last thing Calgary needs is disruption or division. What we need is steady, proven leadership.
Gondek's challengers are former city councillors Jeremy Farkas and Jeff Davison, current councillor Sonia Sharp, former police commission chair Brian Thiessen, Madam Premier store founder Sarah Elder, directional driller Grant Pryor, acupuncturist Jager Gustafson, and frequent political candidate Larry Heather. This year's municipal election includes political parties on the ballot for the first time in Calgary and Edmonton. Jordan Canigan joins us from City Hall with more. And Jordan, there are 3 parties registered in the city.
And Ian, it means voters won't just see candidate names on the ballot this year. They'll also see political parties as well. It is a change in Alberta's 2 biggest cities brought on by the provincial government. Here in our city, there are 3 of those: a Better Calgary Party, Communities First, and the Calgary Party. Now, none of those parties have candidates running in each and every ward, though the Calgary Party has representation in 13 of the 14 wards. And a Better Calgary Party isn't running its own mayoral candidate. The province says the change was made to improve transparency and increase accountability for those elected, but there are fundraising advantages as well.
You can donate basically double to somebody who's a member of a party that you can to somebody who's not. So there's the financial advantage, but then there's the political resistance to that. So I think 2 things will be important here. One is that opposition to the existence and presence of parties.
Now, candidates do not need to belong to a municipal political party in order to run. In fact, most of the people who are running for mayor and council are running as independents. So advance voting for this election will go from October 6th to the 11th, with Election Day on October 20th. Ian?
Jordan, thank you. Police believe a shooting along McLeod Trail was targeted and connected to organized crime. A man in his 20s was initially in critical condition, but is now stable.
It's always highly concerning when there's a shooting in a public space like this at dinner time on a Sunday night, and we'll be putting everything we can into the investigation to try and locate the offenders.
Police responded to McLeod Trail near 55th Avenue Southwest around 5:30 yesterday afternoon outside a Subway sandwich shop. 15 minutes later, officers found a black Hyundai Kona with a stolen license plate on fire on 17th Street Southeast. Investigators believe it was the getaway vehicle, and they're analyzing it for evidence. Emergency crews and NMAX workers dealt with the tricky, potentially dangerous situation in southwest Calgary this morning. A dump truck struck a power pole at 20th Street and 30th Avenue. The fire department says a power line was on the truck and the driver was unable to exit safely until NMAX crews ensured the power was off. The city and police are sounding the alarm about a rise in fatal crashes over the last 2 years. Tyson Fedor is in southeast Calgary, and Tyson, 2024 was a devastating year on Calgary roads.
Ian, 29 people lost their lives on Calgary roads last year. To date, 27 people here in our city have died on city roads, including here along 194th Avenue Southwest at Sheriff King Point back in July. And police are hoping that driving habits will now start to change. Now, last year's fatal collisions included 13 pedestrians and 5 motorcyclists. 24% were because of unsafe or excessive speed. Police saying that we are on track to eclipse the 10-year high of last year, seeing 27 people already die this year. 6 of those people being motorcyclists, and speed a factor in about 30% of those collisions. Now, these numbers are not the highest Calgary has seen. Between 1984 and 2004, Calgary averaged more than 37 fatal crashes every single year. Police are issuing a warning to Calgarians to slow down, stay alert, drive to weather conditions, but also pedestrians need to be aware even at a marked crosswalk.
I think people are feeling more pressure to get to places quickly. We've got the back to school. People are trying to get their kids into sports. There's pressures at work. People's minds are distracted when they're driving. I think what we know is that it's our time that we have to step in and say, this has become urgent. The trend cannot continue the way that it has, and that takes everyone's responsibility, and there's no single reason for it. I think
the Join the Drive to Zero campaign will cost the city about $200,000 along with police, and it will be a 3-part video series that will be seen on TV, heard on radio, and also seen in Cineplex theaters, along with being on social media, and that's just to warn people of the collisions that are taking place across our city.
Good to know. Thank you, Tyson. The Calgary Zoo has 2 new residents, a pair of orphaned grizzly bear cubs. Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Services say a hunter shot and killed a grizzly bear that charged at him last week near Diamond Valley. The bear left 2 cubs behind, both of whom were born this year and would be unable to care for themselves. Wildlife officers captured the cubs and brought them to the Calgary Zoo. The zoo says they're getting lots of love from zookeepers while it works on finding them a safe forever home. Okay, Danielle, this is the first official day of autumn, and so far, so good. It's really nice.
I know. How well did we do today? Yes. What a beautiful day. We had bright skies. We had warmth. We're not immensely above normal. That will come tomorrow. But we had a really beautiful day today. It's still beautiful out there right now. It's a little breezy. Gusts at the airport registering right now at 33 kilometers per hour. It will gust up to 40 at times throughout these next couple of hours. 20 degrees at the airport. You can see by that live shot. Nothing but some blue sky out there. Okay, your 24-hour forecast is brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit 5thAvVW.com. And And for tomorrow, same thing with regards to conditions. A whole lot of bright sky and sunshine, but even hotter tomorrow. We're looking at a high of 27 degrees, believe it or not. More details coming up, Ian.
Thank you, Danielle. They were quickly forced off their flight in Calgary after a bomb threat. Coming up, now they're wondering where their luggage is. Also ahead, Calgary's Jewish community kicks off the high holidays. A week after Canadian authorities received reports of bomb threats for flights from Germany to Calgary, one couple is still without their checked bags. The threats turned out to be not credible for the 3 flights, but since then, Bethany and Jonathan Lagore, who were on one of the flights, don't have their luggage. After the couple deboarded the plane, an airport staff member gave them a form to get their bags back. They were later told by the airport it's the airline's responsibility.
I have reached out every single day and have either been rerouted to phone numbers that are not assigned and not in service, or agents that cannot help me at all.
An aviation expert we spoke with says passengers' bags are likely being investigated and searched. He added this is typical behavior after a serious threat. CTV News reached out to the airline Condor, and they asked us to provide the couple's luggage tag numbers. We have not heard back yet. Rosh Hashanah begins today, kicking off the Jewish high holidays. The blowing of the shofar, or ram's horn, marks the beginning of the Jewish New Year, during which Jews ask God for forgiveness for mistakes they made in the past year. It precedes Yom Kippur, also known as the Day of Atonement, the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. Jews are encouraged to give to charity and share a meal of fish with loved ones.
It's actually the 6th day of creation that we're celebrating, the creation of humankind. So basically the birthday of humankind in the world.
2 days of services will be held at Shabbat Lubavitch starting tonight. And today is the first day of the major Indian festival of Navratri, leading up to Diwali, the Festival of Lights. It's celebrated differently in India's regions, with some spending time in religious reflection and fasting, while others enjoy dancing and feasting. A Navratri event will take place in Calgary tonight at the new Indo-Canadian Centre. All right, question time. What's your favorite season?
Ooh, that is a good question. I will always say summer. I like the
Actually,
heat.
me too. Yeah.
Summer, number 1.
Yeah.
2?
I think fall is second best.
Me too.
You too?
Yeah.
Then we agree.
And it was a nice little compromise for the beginning of fall. We felt a little more like summer than fall, had a lot of sunshine. And as we go through this first week of fall, it will feel more summery because we're looking at getting to a high in the upper 20s tomorrow in the city. So still some summer warmth left to kick off this beautiful season. You know, the pumpkin spice, the pecan stuff, Thanksgiving, all that stuff coming up. Okay, 20 degrees is the temperature in the city right now. That's also our daytime high. 20 in Brooks, Medicine Hat, just a little higher in Lethbridge, and a little lower at 19 in Pincher Creek. We had a bit of a breezy day, nothing excessive, but in those lower 40s, Pincher Creek, Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat. Pincher Creek, Crossness Pass areas will have gusts just like this for tomorrow, but Lethbridge, Medicine Hat will tame down 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. In Calgary, we're looking at about 20 kilometers per hour. So less windy tomorrow. If you look at this close-up shot, there's nothing going on at all. To zoom out, though, this is the jet stream, the edge of that ridge of high pressure, and that's drawing all the cloud cover and moisture up and around us. This pattern is going to shift, though, especially by Wednesday, and temperatures are going to cool, but it looks like a lot of the cloud cover and moisture will remain just to the north of the city. Here's that ridge of high pressure, and then what we're going to see is this is going to slump down Wednesday and Thursday, and so we won't get quite as warm after tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the hot day of the week. And then, yeah, there you go. There's that slump down. But overall, we're looking at really, really nice weather as we head through all of this week, and mainly in the 20s. Except for one day. Okay, futurecast, there's that ridge, that edge of it, the jet stream getting somewhat close to us, going to bring cloud cover really close. This is on Wednesday, but it should dissipate before it even gets here. What we will notice a temperature change, and in fact, it could be a 10-degree temperature change in just a day, so it will be something that your body will feel for sure. So tomorrow, all heat. In fact, by 8 a.m., it should be 16 degrees out tomorrow. So it'll be even a toasty morning, getting up to 27 as a high in the afternoon with all sunshine. And then on Wednesday, we'll likely see some clouds creep in as the whole weather pattern changes. And we probably won't even get to that 20-degree mark. Best guess is at 17 degrees for Wednesday. And then for Thursday, we get back into those 20s. And Thursday, right in through the weekend, lots of sunshine and daytime highs in those lower 20s. So absolutely stunning.
The Society of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Canada says the use of Tylenol during pregnancy is safe. The Society has reviewed its position on usage of the medication during pregnancy in light of reports drawing links between acetaminophen use while pregnant and autism in children. Today, U.S. President Donald Trump promoted unproven ties between Tylenol, vaccines, and autism without giving new evidence. Canada is officially recognizing a Palestinian state. Coming up, we get reaction from an author whose family was displaced from Palestinian territories. Restaurants are struggling as younger Canadians would rather just stay home. Joining me is Robert Geary, investment advisor with the Popwich-Carmeli Advisory Group. So, Robert, how did the markets close out the day?
Well, it was the first day of fall here, Ian, and it was a pretty good one on the markets. TSX was intraday high as well on the back of gold and materials pushing it higher. And on the U.S. side, we had all three major indices point to a record close for the third session in a row, mostly on the back of NVIDIA coming out, saying that they were going to be investing $100 billion into AI. And we also had some commentary in the Fed saying that there's a need for more cuts. So that pushed all markets to record closes today.
And it should be easier to get a table at a restaurant these days because so many people are just staying at home.
Yeah, this was from Restaurants Canada here. This was an interesting report that there's two major things that I saw out of this. Of younger Canadians between the ages of 18 and 34, 81% of them saying, hey, they're spending a lot less or going less to restaurants. So, you know, obviously the cost of food and labor for all these restaurants, they've had to push their prices higher. And it's, you know, obviously supply and demand has kind of hit the younger generation that is more sensitive to that wants value, is saying, hey, we'd rather just order our groceries or order our bills through DoorDash. But for the restaurants, they make a lot of profit on alcohol sales, especially through dinner hour. They're seeing less of that. A lot of younger Canadians, if they are going to restaurants, going more towards a breakfast or brunch where they're not buying alcohol. So that's hitting the profit margins on these restaurants as well.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Yeah, appreciate it.
A 5-year-old boy is still missing in the Crow's Nest Pass. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. The little boy wandered away from his family yesterday. Today, the search for Darius McDougall expanded. We will have the very latest at 6. Also ahead, the CFL is getting a shorter field and some major rule changes. We'll have reaction from the Stampeders. Ian.
Thanks, Tara.
UNFPA said 23,000 women in Gaza are going without care, and about 15 babies are born each week without any medical help.
Almost every day there's a new revelation about life for Palestinians. And last week, the UN Independent Commission declared that Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Author Saeed Tibi writes about his family's displacement from the Palestinian territories in You Will Not Kill Our Imagination, a memoir of Palestine and writing in dark times. And joining me is Saeed Tibi. Thank you for speaking with us today.
Great to be here, Ian. Thank you.
First of all, yesterday Canada announced that it would support the creation of a Palestinian state. What is your response to that?
Well, I mean, any movement in the direction of understanding and seeing and recognizing Palestine is always a positive one, and certainly from a policy position, that's good for Canada. Although it's much too late. Something like 150 countries had already recognized Palestine. But I will say that in the absence of other things, this risks being and looking performative. I mean, Canada still has yet to issue sanctions against Israel. Israel. When Russia invaded Ukraine, only a month later, Canada had some wide-ranging sanctions. And now we're two years into this genocide that the Israeli government is perpetrating, and nothing. In addition, we still have diplomatic relations that are fairly normal with Israel. So there's a lot of work to do. This is a step. By no means is it the most important step, but it's welcome.
And to see my extended interview with Saeed Tibi, visit ctvnews.ca/Calgary. Those blue sky days continue in Calgary. Right now in the city, it's sunny and 20 degrees. Danielle has details coming up. I've noticed this is the time of year when it's nice and crisp in the morning. It's a little bit chilly, but by the afternoon, it's quite warm.
Yeah, and the layers are nice, and a little coffee, hot chocolate type thing. That always helps things in this season. It's a cozy season. You didn't talk about your least favorite season.
Oh, that's winter.
Yeah, me too. Oh boy. Okay, 20 degrees is the current temperature. Also today's daytime high. Normal is 16. So we're 4 degrees above normal for today, and check out how far above normal will be tomorrow. 27 is the expected daytime high with a whole lot of sunshine. It should be stable all week. Wednesday, as the weather pattern changes a bit, we'll likely have some clouds roll in, and it'll be tough to get to that 20 mark. We'll be just under that. But back into the 20s for Thursday and the rest of the week as well. Ian?
Thanks, Danielle. 8 Indigenous artists have graduated from a mentorship program at the National Music Centre.
There's nothing to be found.
Damacy Ellis is an emerging Indigenous artist. She started playing an instrument at the age of 12 and soon after wrote her first song. The program offers a vocal coach, but many artists need help with the business side of the industry. Here they learn about finances, marketing, and social media.
I find that there are certain things that you just can't edit yourself, or there are certain things that you just can't come to yourself. And having a group of people who are not only attuned to that, but who also understand being Indigenous in the music industry is absolutely invaluable.
This is the 4th year the National Music Centre has hosted the program. Thanks for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.